I was thinking I should make a financial literacy course called Stupidity is the New COVID. A lot of people think that they losing money because of a president or a politician or law enforcement or just it's the blame game. You know, I seen it happen 20 years ago with black people, and now I'm watching it happen to other races of people. Financial literacy works like this here. If you invest in assets, you make money. If you invest in a lie, you lose money. That ain't got nothing to do with a person. Now, you can have people that can try to stalk. They'll put a stalking charge on them if they insider trading and copyright infringement. That can be solved. But some of these decisions were made by dumb decisions that people in the United States made. Say, for instance, if the Dogecoin had lost money, everybody losing money in Starbucks, you can clearly see the stock then fail. Right? Let's deal with stock and bond. Dow Jones failed, NASDAQ failed, this company failed, right? Common sense will tell you not to invest in that shit. That's just business in general. Common sense will tell you, hey, I shouldn't do that because I'm going to lose some money. That ain't got nothing to do with a person. That's why people wake up in the morning and watch the news, so they can find out what's losing money so they don't lose money. That's the whole... And that's how money's made in America, by knowing what gonna make some money and what ain't gonna make no money. You turn on the news for the past 10 months, everybody that got some LGBT DEI fraud shit for 10 months straight, nigga, it's finna be Christmas again. All that shit then lost money, and you still, that's like if Starbucks stock had failed for 10 months. Common sense will tell you not to invest in the shit, but you the retard still investing in it, it's like cryptocurrency, right? You hear me? Keep in mind, I want you to think about every person that ever used the word cryptocurrency, whether they black or white. Right? You know, they made some fake numbers, some Matilda Dad. The man that started cryptocurrency got a life sentence for that company, for the brother. Everybody that I seen teach cryptocurrency then damn near got a life sentence eventually. At some point, right, that's like a basketball team and it's playoff time. If they record ain't up to par, say this the fiscal year, if they record ain't up to par, you know those people ain't going to no playoffs or no championship. A lot of y'all people, I think y'all think money like sports. You never know how Dallas Cowboys is America's football team. Everybody know that Dallas Cowboys ain't gonna win no goddamn championship. It only a damn fool would do that. But sometimes, I get it. You like who you like, but in the real world, that ain't how money is made. Now, if the LGBT make a commercial with Bud Light go bankrupt. That been a multi-billion-dollar company for 30 years. Every company it go to, matter of fact, I seen the Taco Bell commercial put Lil Nas X on there. They damn near went bankrupt. Even say for instance, because I mean, Economics of Dower and Brad Price is a 20-page document. You can read it for yourself. That's 5,000 years of documentation in 200 companies, what they call Forex, a $1 trillion industry today. You can see, what happened to Greece? Rome, it burnt. Why? Because of homosexuality. That's common sense. Show me one country, right? Even in Africa, right? You hear me? They say, why is Africa so poor? They did a study. They said, because there's homosexuality there. Damn, you hear me? Like, after a while, you hear me? You gotta be like, well, why Canada is full of snow and Mexico a desert? Because it's homosexuality there. What Einstein called the general theory of relativity, photosynthesis, and eugenics. Because you keep participating in homosexual Browning motion, just a bunch of random people doing random things and not Fibonacci sequence, which is, you hear me, compound interest success. That's how you go 0 to 100. Like for instance, right? Women can be sitting there having a good time, people having a party. The homosexuals show up and make everybody feel uncomfortable. Jay-Z show up, Wesley Snipes show up, Denzel show up. He'll sit there and harass the person that actually generate income until the point all the money gone, all the women gone. Then they go dancing off like a little ballerina, you hear me? And they go around the whole world, you hear me? That what Satan did in the Bible, you hear me? Looking for as many people to go get defunded, deported with them. That's how crazy it is. And then go run. So did you lose money because of a person or a decision you made? Because if somebody come to you and say, hey, you know what we should invest our money in? Beauty shops. You say beauty shop or this type of cosmetic. A normal investor would say, let me look at the financial reports on that company. What's his potential to earn income? When you see them little stock charts and that junk be having P and a dash and the E on that motherfucker, how much dividends do this company pay out? Right? Keep in mind, you ain't never invested if my company Kept Rock Books made trillions of dollars. Just like Robert Johnson had BET made billions of dollars. He did business. Guess how many people he did business with? One person. To make $1 billion. OnlyFans, right? You hear me? You done did business with millions of people and still ain't got millions of dollars. Why? Because you keep investing in shit that them $2 increment, it's a survey that people had. They said, would you rather get $10,000 a month for the rest of your life or $100 million all at once? A woman say, make coochie expensive again. I want you to think about business theory. $10,000 a month times 12 is $120,000, right? $120,000 times 10 years is how much? $1.2 million, right? That's 10 years. Now, over the course of 50 years, right, you hear me, you might see roughly around maybe $12 million. 50 years. Now, somebody's asked you, would you rather have $100 million right now today, right? Or would you rather everybody around you give you $10,000 every month? Over 90% of the people in this survey, I'm not making this shit up, this ain't even my survey. They said over 90% of people in the United States of America said, I'd rather get the $10,000 a month because I don't want $100 million. That's just too much money for me. Now, let's look at the OnlyFans phenomenon, how coochie used to be a woman get mad at her husband. She could get, like Jeff Bezos' wife, she got mad at him, she's a billionaire. She knew who to get. Dr. Dre's wife, a billionaire, right? You hear me? Like when they split. When you split from the person that's giving you $2, you get nothing from them. So you have these women, they see these rappers that's Kanye West's, they billionaires. They see these Jay-Z's that are billionaires. They say, yeah, that's the person I want to fuck up because I don't want $100 million. I just want to at least make $10,000 a month. Now what happens is, right, next thing you know, your coochie economically, right, if you study supply and demand, it then became unvaluable to the point where, yeah, OnlyFans, a bundle on OnlyFans is $4.99. Subscription free. $2 to watch your live, where other women are making billions of dollars, millions of dollars just off one person. That's a personal decision. That ain't got nothing to do, you hear me, right? You hear me with, Trump, why I lost my money. Do you know that there have been people that's presidents for over 200 years. That ain't stopped nobody that know how to make money. You make money by saying, okay, if this losing money, then I need to put my money in this then. If this industry ain't popping right now, I need it, like lately, over the past roughly 30 years, hip hop has been an unfailing industry. It ain't failed at all. Everybody know. Matter of fact, they say 90% of people, the men from other countries, come to the United States just to invest their money in hip hop. This is a known fact in the hip hop industry. And anybody in distribution and publishing will tell you that. They can't rap them damn self, but they do know hip hop is in fact what generate the most income on planet Earth. That's common sense. It generate more income than sports. So a lot of times these men, they have a rough time understanding, you know what, yeah, I do hip hop, but I own my company. Go find you a rapper dumb enough to invest with you because like I said, they think in their investment the same way gay people do. If the business go bad, they gonna run. Jay-Z had Rockefeller. Rockefeller is like 40 people. He left the whole Rockefeller, dropped the whole record label, and just did business with Beyonce. His money went from the $50 million he made from selling Rockaware, because that's all they said he had. When he left Rockaware and Rockefeller, he had $50 million. And said, I'm going to just date Beyonce. He dropped everybody from the label, said, if y'all really get money, start your own company by yourself. I see how it work out for you. I'm going to date me and Beyonce going to do what we going to do. Because I know business and I can rap. His money went from $50 million to $500 million. Now they say he got $4 or $5 billion. That's just dating off one woman and whatever chicken head that he want at that point. So people say, I need to have the 12 apostles, the 12 disciples. That's an old washed up business model. 12 Israelites, that's a washed up business model. The Denver Zodiac, that Playboy Mansion business model, and you got talent, that's a multi-billion-dollar, trillion-dollar industry. That's already been proven. So a lot of you men like, yeah, we gonna link up with Marcavius. No, you ain't. No. If you're facing a federal indictment, your company been defunded, why would you bring that poverty my way? It's a sign of disrespect, one. And two, right, you hear me, you don't have a mathematical path to success. You can't show me no business plan, marketing plan, how all that shit you doing, it's finna be Christmas again, it's gonna make some money in the future. On the next quarter report, the next weekly report, nothing. You know, and your desperate attempts to pretend you still getting money. Well, I'm gonna just print me some money. Printing fake bank cards and shit, all that shit is over with. Fake pay, all that shit is over with. And you still around here. Like I said, the word dying in your sin is not a religious term. Like I said, the language of law is the language of scripture. What happened, the reason Joe Biden dropped out the races is because of a legal term called sin die. He died in his sin. What does that mean? That means they looked at all the vending proposals you had and looked at the actual documentation with the financial potential to earn income. Said, well, this is bogus. And his career was over. They said, your son got a fake tax document talking about he gonna hook up with some OnlyFans women and run a Denver Zodiac business model. Keep in mind, he was indicted on the RICO Act, Hunter Biden. Am I making this up? And the OnlyFans women. They still own the town. So we already know that whatever you think about business as a black person, I can say, well, that's a bad business model for me. I can legally do it, but due to the fact that you're still holding on to a lie called sin die, I don't necessarily want to do business with you. I want to give you $2. If the junkie had sex with you for free, why should I pay you? He ain't even worth no money. Because women had this fucked up mindset, like, let me get this right. You gonna fuck all the bums and the losers and the niggas that work as a waitress. Like, I seen this, a thing called Vanderpump Rules, right? These women supposed to be multi-millionaires and billionaires. I seen a woman on Vanderpump Rules fuck a nigga that was a waiter at a restaurant. This is on like they reality TV show. She know damn well he ain't got no money. Ain't gonna make no money. This ain't no shade on him. I ain't gonna say my by all means, but we've already studied there's a 0% success rate in interracial relationships because it's kind of like the Judith type stories, right? They fuck niggas just to take you out the game type shit. Read in the Bible about Israelite women. Remember, the Israelites always been a wicked people. I'm trying to tell you, you hear me? There's a story called Judith in the Apocryphal books, what they call canonical law. This woman went to a Syrian commander, run it like in the movie Harlem Nights. Said, I'm gonna have sex with this man just so I can set him up. This is the religion. So anybody with common sense that know that that's your culture would never have sex with you, knowing that your religion is the Book of Judith. I can't make this shit up. Your religion is you have sex with rich men just to fuck their life up. Then you say, yeah, I'm gonna come date my cave. No, you ain't. I'm gonna be like when you see that stuff I was posting about the crook with the fan in his hand and he was master bar. You hear me, right? You hear me? And he couldn't get hurt. He was talking about a technology like OnlyFans. See, if I just date you on this phone, I'll never be in trouble with you in person. Cause the same shit you doing on OnlyFans ain't what you do in real life. In real life, you hear me? A man could have more than that $2 and that $4 you looking for. He could have $40 million. That's the nigga you trying to set up. And then now your coochie went from, like I said, $150 million to $2 bundles. You can get in the strip club now for $2. You $2 hoes. Like I said, when I first moved to California in 2017, the Gentleman Club opened at 10 o'clock. And had beds in them. They started letting homosexuals run their strip clubs, run their dildo shops, and the value dropped significantly. Now this is a hustler's dream. Keep in mind, it's a movie called Pretty Woman with Richard Gere. Why would Richard Gere rather date a prostitute than stay married to his wife? It's a business decision for him. He looking at the business value of it. He was like, I can fuck this hoe for $100 for a week. My wife, you hear me, might want a couple $1 billion. Let me think. With $100, you hear me, I can fuck a hoe every day. And that's gonna cost me what, $3,000 a month? Times 12, $36,000. Versus you date this bitch, you might lose $36 million. You won't be an overnight celebrity, you'll be overnight bankrupt. So most wise men, right, you hear me, they call that the non-business model because we already know what marriage gets you nowhere, especially if that woman ain't even got talent herself. Because a lot of times they say, well, long as she's beautiful, like in the movie Coming to America, yeah, well, she's beautiful, so automatically she's the one for you. Wrong. Because all the women on OnlyFans are beautiful. They got 2 billion OnlyFans profiles on Instagram, links. 2 billion. This is the data. It's over 8 billion people on planet Earth. They have 2 billion OnlyFans profiles. There are 365 days in a year. A man, it ain't the fact that Solomon and King David had 1,000 wives. You just got to do the math. You can only have sex with so many women in 1 year. And it's 2 billion profiles with women that got that OnlyFans for less than $10. Truth be told, a man that's really, if he wanted to economically take advantage, he'd be like, shit, I should just leave that shit at $2, $10. And let them keep fucking junkies and bums and getting caught in these sex scandals and these abortion scandals. The coochie will never be worth no money. Now, gas is still gonna go up $6, $7. So while your value is going down, the actual products like oil and grocery, all that money still going up. So as your money going lower, all the other resources that's real, like keep in mind, right, you hear him, Donald Trump is caught in a new fraud scandal. He was out a scandal. He just created a new fraud scandal for himself. But here's the problem, right? They said, we're going to charge y'all H1 $100,000 visas. Here's the problem. Those H1 visas are people from Chile and Singapore. Mexican visas are M3 visas, right? Keep in mind, there are so many people that's dumb, they don't even know that. Why? Because you illiterate. They said the A1 visa, you hear me, is the person that's over the president, right? But you done changed the A1 visa to garbage man. He the ambassador now, garbage man. So now when you need a remedy to talk to a consulate and you looking for an ambassador, it's a nigga walking down the street with a garbage can. That's the ambassador now. That's the highest form of government, and you turned the highest form of government, like the Tom Lee Park in Memphis that saved them white people on the first Titanic, you hear me, to a garbage man. So now you in economic trouble. Keep in mind, you cannot do a treaty with a president. You have to do a treaty with a ruler. Now they can pass a policy or law, but you cannot do a treaty with a president. It's a movie called Black Knight, right, with Martin Lawrence. And remember, Martin Lawrence he say, the Duke of Florence is ready to start dating your daughter. Oh, look like she had sex with a man already. That's the end of the treaty. You are now defunded. A lot of people, you don't really understand what Trump and them saying. Trump ain't got the treaty when he invoking the Supremacy Clause, but you know who I got the treaty. It's a gray market. It's not a bull market. It's not a bear market. So you like, well, since Marcavius got the treaty, you still have that Judas mindset. Well, I'm going to go over there and try to figure out. I'm like, it ain't going to never work, because I'm going to only date you no further than OnlyFans. Because I already know what you up to. Leave you in part. You permanently defunded, because you can't say, well, no, I haven't been with other men. No, all OnlyFans profiles are recorded and documented. This ain't 500 years ago when one of the king messengers got to find out you doing it. Everybody know you doing it, so you can't link up with me. You done suck 10 homeless nigga dicks, you hear me, and all of a sudden you finna link up with me. You sound crazy. Come on, like you're not being realistic with yourself. They got you on OnlyFans sucking dildos, all and you publish that content. Ain't nobody secretly recorded you where you can say that's illegal, that's copyright infringement, that's insider trading. That was illegal, you invaded my privacy. No. A homosexual told you to do it. Like I said, Roe vs. Wade is not women's rights. Women's rights come from where? The 19th Amendment. The homosexual got you out there talking about Women's Day and homosexual day is the same day. And truth be told, it is, because a homosexual couple can be a male and female together. They call it the Epstein-Maxwell couple. Yeah, that is a homosexual couple. Anthropology-wise. If a man is gay and he around a woman that's straight, by default, they both homosexuals. Now, two lesbians can't be homosexual. It's like positives and negatives, you hear me, mathematically. Two women positives make a positive, but a woman that's positive and a man that's negative by default, mathematically, she become negative too. That's science. You can be a person that ain't in no trouble. Somebody can come around you with drugs or anything, and they in trouble, it gets you in trouble. That's why the immunity system exists. Say for instance, right, you riding in the car, a person got illegal anything in the car. They gonna say both of y'all guilty till one of them fess up to it. Right? Like I said, stupidity is the new COVID. It's like the movie Blow. Remember the movie Blow? Johnny Depp is sitting there. Everybody else already been busted. They ain't never even told Johnny Depp in the movie Blow, the homosexual, they ain't even told him they been busted. They like, no, just do business. As soon as he do business with them, he go to jail. The same day. That's history. That's a real man. Boston Joe. He never even seen his daughter grow up. His daughter was a grown woman by the time she had found him 20-some years later in jail. She was married with kids and everything. The last time he had seen her, she was a little girl. This is the California history. I'm like, let me get this. So when people see me moving, when you coming around, like, dude, you're a disease. Stupidity is the new COVID. You on your way to jail for the rest of your life. Why would you come sit next to me? Because you want me infected with your disease called an indictment. You hear me, in the RICO Act. But where you were failing it, nobody told you that some people in the world have what's known as security clearances. So just because you got busted with a RICO Act, don't mean you're going to come around me and it's going to affect me. But you try to create this optical illusion that if you in trouble, I'm in trouble. And what happens is you find out I'm like Michael Corleone on The Godfather. I'm like, that nigga ain't related to me. Nigga, prove it. Matter of fact, this was the charge I was facing last year on trial. First, it was abuse on the spouse. I said, I ain't never even touched this bitch. I said, then second, I said, how are all these people doing business with my company, and my company is a sole proprietorship? I said, I'm gonna say this again, Judge. How is there other people doing business with me when my company is a sole proprietorship? It's not an LLC. It's not an S corporation, right? You heard me? I said, so who in the fuck can do business? I said, I'm the only person owning the business. I said, you see this text that it say W8 Ben. They said, do not use this tax status, which is the order Melchizedek tax status, if you ain't an individual. So I got clowns, you hear me, come sitting next to me like all of a sudden you gonna inherit some rights, privileges, and benefits that rightly belong to me like you Vittler Maitland or Beverly Hills Cop Con game nigga, you hear me? Like nobody in their right mind gonna believe that shit. But this the optical illusion you keep telling people. If I can just get close to that rich ass nigga over there with the unlimited bank accounts, it gonna help my career. It's not, cause my company is a sole proprietorship. Now, if I'm married to a woman and I got kids, can I get them some money? Yeah. Should I give you some? No, I don't have to give you shit. Anything I give you, I get reimbursed for it. That's the truth about it. I don't give a fuck what it is. But this the lie. Now, like I said, can a woman, you hear me, that I'm dating, you hear me, kids that I have, yeah. But we know that the women that come our way from other races of people have what's known in the book of the Apocrypha, those Judah scandals. See, right after the book of Tobit is the book of Judah. You think you finna hook up with the prostitute of Babylon the whole time. It's a setup. It's a setup. How do we know? We call those people O.J. Simpson. We call it the Tupac me against the world rape case. Some other niggas done raped some woman, you heard me, and Tupac ended up in jail for it. This is the history of these other interracial relationships in the United States. O.J. Simpson ain't killed the bitch. The man killed her and killed himself. This was documented. And then said, well, we got to keep the Heisman Trophy because for sentimental. Wrong. See, people in California have a bad habit of committing crimes and looking for black people to throw it on. They call that the O.J. Simpson case. They call that the Tupac rape case. It didn't make sense. Kanye West, right? You heard me? Made Kim Kardashian a billionaire. You heard me? It didn't change her fucked up mindset. You heard me? She dated a comedian on Saturday Night Live that got fired. He wasn't even making $100,000 a year. Like I said, you heard me? These women would rather date a poor man than date a billionaire. That's the way they mind. They been groomed like that. Yeah. Chris Tucker thought he was gonna go to China with Jackie Chan. He like $40 million in tax debt. Y'all ever heard that joke Chris Tucker said about Wesley Snipes? He the same way. Yeah, man, I done hooked up with that. Not saying nothing wrong with it, you hear me? But nigga, there ain't nobody going broke for you, you hear me? That's the truth about it. Stop looking, like keep in mind, Current Price and Mark Ridley are two black men that worked at on the city councils. Like one of them, I think Mark Ridley was at USC. The white woman is the person that admitted people in the school falsely. But who they charge, you hear me, with the biggest charge? The nigga that was dumb enough to listen to it. Current Price didn't commit the crime. The Martinez lady did, you hear me, city council talking about black people are monkeys. But who got charged with it? She quit her job and he charged with it. When the ICE people started breaking out and locking people up, they said, all you gangbangers, y'all go fight the federal government. Niggas know what a RICO Act is. We ain't. And what happened? They hit the whole gang, all the gangbangers with RICO Act. And who told you to do it? The mayor. And what they get to do, they get to sit back and laugh at your ass. Now, a person that's a real hustler on the block, a real investor, you like, I'm not investing in it. If people are losing money and going to jail, I need to invest in tobacco or something. You hear me? I need to invest in something, a beauty shop or something, a nail shop or something. I want to invest in whatever ain't in trouble, and people that ain't in trouble. Matter of fact, the beauty of hip hop is you can just drop a brand new album and make $1 million in a week. That's the beauty of it. That's the only industry. Football takes some time to make money off of it. Basketball, you got to get the games, you got to sell the tickets, somebody got to buy that motherfucker. Nigga can drop an album and sell 1 million records, you hear me, in 1 week, you hear me? That's legal money. That's the only industry that can do it. So a lot of times, right, Jay-Z used to say all blacks got his sports and entertainment. I'm like, so? Truth be told, like I said, when I was growing up, you could be 17 and get a $40 million best. Kobe Bryant is probably one of the last people to do it, you hear me? But see, I understand the jealousy, so I'm like, no, nothing you're doing is exciting to us, nothing. Y'all, they live life like the movie Sinners and Parasites, right? You try to keep attaching yourselves to the host. What are the results of all the white people that tried to attach themselves to my career? Even police officers. Even people that work, what are the results of people that kept talking in the background on my lives? You don't think the FBI heard you talking? See, you wanted to be heard and they heard you talking in my background. Next thing you know, your store got raided, your company got defunded, your people got deported that work for you, you had some more, they got deported too. All for one reason, because the government obviously listening to my podcast. They hear you talking in the background. They got a satellite. They said, well, he wasn't talking before my cave started talking. They like, damn, oh, okay, I see it. Well, okay, now, but here go the women. They go right along with you. And then say, make coochie expensive again. Stop hanging around losers. Keep in mind, that's like if Moneybagg Yo got a show, then later on Lil Baby got a show. If Moneybagg Yo is on the stage performing, will Lil Baby get on the stage and start rapping while Moneybagg's show is going? No. But this is what white people like to do. They can see black people performing. They stupid enough to try to jump on the stage while another person is performing. Then wonder why nobody wants to hear nothing you got to say. Everything you say is irrelevant now. Because you're a fucking idiot. Stupidity is the new COVID. Say, for instance, if we at a gentleman club, right? A woman is on the stage dancing. If a man is dumb enough to jump on the stage while she dancing, what would happen? They would throw that motherfucker out the club because he's a retard. But this is what white folk do. They sit around. They wait on black folk to start working. Oh, let me jump on the stage too. Like, nigga, you a piece of shit. You hear me? Nobody likes you anymore. Nigga, it's finna be Christmas again, like I said, and you still doing the same dumb shit that got you living mediocre now. It's disgusting. If you actually had a presentation of your own, why did you wait for somebody else to make a presentation? It's just like if you really wanted to invest in this woman or this rapper or this business, why would you sitting around waiting on another person to invest in it? Then all of a sudden you want to invest in it. You ever see like a lot of these faggots? They don't even know what they want out of life. They wait on see other men and date a woman. Then all of a sudden you want to date a woman. That's why all these rappers end up dead. Let's talk about dead rappers. Let me get this right. This rapper is dating some random broad. It's 2 billion profiles on OnlyFans. But because you seen this rapper dating this woman, now you want to date her. Not because you like the bitch, because you just want to be a jealous faggot. Next thing you know, you in a casket. That's simple that's science, you hear me? Everybody knows that was gonna happen. It's a movie called Casino, right? It ain't the fact Joe Pesci wanted to fuck Robert De Niro's wife. He just wanted to do it out of jealousy. Next thing you know, he getting somewhere beat with bats. Him and his brother, you hear me, threw in a hole, you hear me? They like, why would you do that? That's stupid. It had nothing to do with business. Keep in mind, this ain't even live, you hear me? I can edit people out of it. That's not the point. You know, they got a new thing, say, man, put more of yourself in your content. Like I said, there are faggots in their mind when women dancing on the stage, they think it's their turn to dance on the stage. If I went to go see Adele and Christina Aguilera was having a show, Christina Aguilera wouldn't get on the show while Adele is performing, unless they are part of the same group or something, but they not. But this how faggots think, you heard me, in California. They think, oh, well, Adele performing, Christina Aguilera sing your song at the same time while Adele is singing her song. Nobody in their right mind would do shit like that. And you women, y'all listen to these losers and wonder why you losing money. That's why. You ain't got the heart. See, a lot of y'all don't have the heart like on America's Got Talent or like on Soul Train or one of those award shows. Just say, man, just shut the fuck up, you hear me? Because you ain't got no talent. Like, wait a minute, ain't every investment you made this year got defunded and got people federally indicted? At that point in the game, you should just shut the fuck up. Let me get this right. Everybody that did business with you this year got indicted. At that point in the game, you should just shut the fuck up. You hear me? That's the truth about it. Because obviously you don't know what the fuck you talking about. Financial literacy. Why? Because you keep and women, y'all listening to what's called a liability. You listening to a man that got the ability to lie. Because if we would pause and even listen to their conversation, but we don't pause and listen to their conversation because we have something called economic charts. We ain't got to listen to your conversation no matter what language is in. We can say all your companies in this community been defunded. Let's just say West Hollywood. Let's start there. All this shit been defunded. All of it. Everywhere where there's an LGBT flag, it's been defunded. Everywhere. So at that point in the game, we ain't got to talk to you, you hear me? We already know you ain't talking about shit because we have financial charts. It ain't no car you gonna drive, it ain't nothing you gonna say, no jewelry you gonna put on to make me think that you the person I need to be talking to. We have economic chart, we can look at them. See, I put this on, women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie. See, when you start looking at how Neo look at the Matrix, Neo stopped listening to what people were saying and started calculating, you hear me, the numbers that was coming out of their mouth. So you got to start developing the Neo, the Neo on the Matrix type of vision, where you can look at a motherfucker and say, what is this person potential to earn income? What is their tax status? How many assets do they have? How many liabilities that they have? What is their family asset like? And what you'll start to realize is, you hear me, black people in the United States of America, majority, we got all the money. That's the truth about it. The little scandals that a couple of them find themselves in, everybody don't be in them scandals. The ones that do be in the scandals is the ones that did business with people that were caught in scandals. So guess how we stay out of it? We learn from your mistake. Like, you did business with them and you fucked up your life? I know not to do that then. Sometimes, like what's that girl named? Britney Spears. She dated a backup dancer called Kevin Federline. You know, a lot of those people that do that background shit, you hear me? You gotta watch them people. Britney Spears is a multi-millionaire. Not some nigga just dancing and talking in the background. What are the results of women that believe these lame-ass niggas in the background talking? The women end up the new Britney Spears. You end up the next Demi Lovato. You end up going bankrupt like Katy Perry gotta move. Listening to a motherfucker that just in the background. Matter of fact, Suge Knight, even though they say he's a bad record label executive, but what did Suge Knight say about P. Diddy? He said, ain't y'all tired of out here in California, these lame motherfuckers in your background? If you want to come to a record label where we start removing these lame motherfuckers in your background just talking, come to Death Row. This is a famous quote. I ain't the first person to say that shit. But, and when I realize who doing it the most is homosexual men. Using women as a decoy or kids as decoys. They call that human trafficking DEI fraud today, whether you're aware of it or not. Because it came from, I'm going to show you how, before the Epstein, Maxwell, Weinstein shit, how I looked at it from a biblical perspective. There's a man in the Bible called Abraham. Abraham is dating a woman named Sarah. Sarah ain't got no kids. She trying to get some surrogate babies. They ain't got no money. So they said, let's go around the Pharaoh. I'm going to pretend that you my sister, but whatever money you make with him, I'm going to make some money too. What were the results? 400 years of slavery. Now, like I said, the language of law is called the what? The language of scripture. They call it in the United States Code treason and conspiracy. There's another man in the 1500s. Matter of fact, Tupac would coin the phrase Machiavelli when people forget. Do y'all know Machiavelli is a story that was told in the 16th century about the Medici family, a black man, what they call Othello story in Shakespeare, about men who sit around and wait on you and a woman to have sexual relationships so they can try to kill you and take your money. Because they really ain't got no reason to talk to you, so they try to use women or children like the devil, you hear me, in the Bible, in Revelation, you hear me. They would go on to write this in British Parliament called the 1537 Treason Act. See, a lot of people think treason is a loyalty issue. That's not what treason means. Treason means men that sit around and wait on other men to start making money or having or talking to a woman, then you start talking. That's the treason charge. What is conspiracy? You doing it to get some money that don't belong to you. See, conspiracy is a life sentence. Treason is a death sentence. But if you men could start to realize, if it's men around you that start talking when you trying to make some money, like you hear that man talking in my background, by law, that's called treason. That's treason. Not just in Britain, not just in the Bible, in the United States today. They call that treason. That's treason. Right? Conspiracy, what they call a RICO Act, you are committing treason to try to steal some right, privileges, and benefits that don't legally belong to you. So that's like a lot of times. So now, so say for instance, I post this video, they hear you talking in the background. You just caught them 2 charges just off talking on my live. But did I do that to you, or did you voluntarily start running your mouth? The government hear you talking in the background, then all of a sudden say, yeah, that's treason. That's conspiracy. You say, oh, it's his fault. I got deep. No, it's your fault. Because I don't sit around and wait on like a movie presentation. As soon as the movie starts, that's when I start talking. That's disrespectful. I don't even do it. So they say, oh, it's because of Trump why I'm defunded, not because of decisions you making. No, it's coming from the decisions you're making. They ain't got nothing to do with no damn president or no prime minister. Those are decisions. You made it your business to put your Pinocchio nose in other people's business. And then when you get defunded and you getting deported and you getting hit with RICO Act, treason acts, and terrorist espionage acts, and you say, how it happened to, it's his fault. No, it's your fault. How they know I was doing illegal surveillance? They can hear you on a live recording, fool. Now, see, he had told on me. See, no, motherfucker, you hear me? You told on yourself. You know, no, I'm gonna tell you something about black people. The reason why they smarter, black people in trouble hide. You hear me? White people still be on the town like everything is hunky-dory. Man, I'll be quiet as a church man. Hey, for real, I'll be out the way. Motherfucker, I'll be what's called out of sight, out of motherfucking mind. You hear me? Till I could clear my name. Y'all so dumb. Y'all go from scandal to scandal. You went from all DEI fraud to visa fraud. You done told some people that an H-1 visa, because see, and guess how you could have avoided the scandal? You could have read the Big Beautiful Bill for yourself. You know how much it costs to get a immigration docket on $1,500. It costs $1,500. Now, it's a 90% failure rate, but it only costs $1,500 to get it on the docket. It's already written in the law like this. But maybe Trump said, you know what, y'all stupid anyway. Let me just charge you $100,000 for it. You're dummy. You know, you can be bribed and motherfucker already giving you $2 and to see your pussy. Shit, let me get in on the act. That's basically how the Republicans are looking at Democrats. Like they refused to educate themselves. Like I said, what happened was white people didn't realize that you can't live off black people labor no more. Slavery days are over with. Because you say, how is conspiracy and treason human trafficking? I will show you how. Because human trafficking is what? Slavery. When a person is committing treason, that means you're waiting on a man to talk to a woman, and then you want to start talking. That's the treason charge. That's the death penalty in and of itself. Conspiracy means you want to steal the right, privilege, and benefits. And when it's a black person, that means you were trying to enslave them. Then it becomes what's known as what? Human trafficking. You're like, wait a minute, I was just talking in the background. How could I be committing transnational criminal human trafficking? Were you talking when a man was talking to another woman? Well, that's treason, ain't it? Yeah, Title 18 treason, United States Code, that's treason. And were you doing it because you knew that man had money? Yeah, that's why you were doing it. Were you using women and kids as a distraction so you could be all in that man's vicinity? Yeah. They call it human trafficking because you trying to live free off somebody else's work they doing. What they call exploiting. See, I have a history of being honest. You have a history of lying. So if I say, hey man, I take your picture, I say, hey, this is DEI fraud or human trafficker, transnational criminalism. They gonna say, Marcavis know what he talking about. Then you can't turn around and say, oh man, he's lying. No, they know I ain't lying about no shit like that. Nigga, Ray Charles, if he can't see you, he heard you. And then the women, right? The women, if they were smart, they would tell you just shut the fuck up and go away. Because what had happened was those women, keep in mind, the women can still, like I said, women can still join a man that owns his own company. You can't. But by you being a homosexual, right, you in your mind, you still think that you can date men because you done raped the free women and pedophile the free children that you done bought illegally on a market. So when a person that legally got all the money you never gonna have and a gun and know how to use it and can fight, and you realize you start feeling the pushback like, shut the fuck up, you hear me? Because I'm legally supposed to be here. You legally ain't. So in a dispute, you hear me, or any type of contention or about it, they gonna say, well, Marcavis legally can do that. But you ain't even supposed to be here at all. That's the whole truth about it. Defunded, deported. Because, and guess how you could have avoided that? Staying the fuck out my business, you hear me, Pinocchio? Because nobody even knew you existed at first. But you thought, oh, but this is the perfect time for me to be heard by the world because Marcavis, there's a show going on and I want to talk while other people are talking. You ever heard a pimp say, nigga, shut the fuck up when grown people talking? That's what he's talking about. Because you obviously ain't talking about shit. Shut up. Nigga, shut up when grown people talking. Because you a child, nigga. Because the only time we allow a motherfucker to have an outburst when a motherfucker is talking is a child, because the child's still a kid, they don't know no better. You over 18, you should know to shut the fuck up. Hence the term, shut the fuck up when grown people talking. Your advice ain't worth nothing. How do we know? Because we got the economic chart, so everybody that listens to you got defunded. So you shouldn't be around no legal businesses in the United States of America. In particular, Hollywood, all those DEI places, you're anybody that accepted homosexuality. We know that you shouldn't be around nobody with a heterosexual legal business saying shit. Now women would say, they would feel, you would start what's called simping. See, there really 5 type of pimps. I used to say it was 3 type of pimps, but it's 4 type of pimps. You got a simp, right? He looking for he a pathetic bastard. He hoping somebody feel sorry for him. He think he a kid, he gonna cry his way out of it.
You got the gorilla pimp. He tried to beat the hoe. He catches domestic violence charge. You got a sack pimp. He put the hoe on drugs till she becomes sober and kill your ass. Then you got the silky pimp like me. I ain't got to do none of that. I'm gonna make my money regardless. See? I ain't had to bribe nobody. I ain't got to force nobody. I ain't got to do none of that. You have to go around people and force yourself into their situation, what they call gorilla pimping. End up, you hear me, all type of Article 4 and Article 6 violations. You try to make your public record off somebody else's public record, a leech, a parasite. Because you ain't intelligent enough to speak for your own self. I'm gonna tell you something. If you need to hire a lawyer, that means you need to shut the fuck up when legal things are being spoken about. Just shut the fuck up, because you obviously don't know shit. And I'm gonna just be honest with it. Like I said, if you have to hire a lawyer for your legal situation, just shut the fuck up when grown people are talking. Because you don't know shit. And like I said, in the immigration, 90% of those lawyers have lost their cases. 90% over the past 50 years. This is a fact. So shut up. You hear me? That's the truth about it. You hear me? You're here illegally and you ain't got no money and you done made coochie $2. That's what the results was. OnlyFans bundles are like what, $3.99? Some of them $5.99. Man, 20 years ago, I never would have imagined that you could see a hoe butt ass naked for $1. That's unheard of. And I had to start studying the economics of how that happened to them, like Crazy Girl. You had men that were security guards, not pimps, not the club owner, a security guard that were trying to collect money from the money the strippers were making. Nigga, it's crackheads living Crazy Girls today. Y'all, you ever heard in the Bible say, come out of her, my people, for her sins have reached to heaven? The prostitute of Babylon and these fake kings they created. That's what they're talking about. They saying, get the fuck away from them weirdos, these creeps, you hear me? Because God has punished these people. He punished them. The synagogue of Satan, the people say they are Jews and are not. God punished them. It's a lot of people that used to have money gonna be sleep on the streets with the homeless people, the homeless population they created. And rightly so. Because you went around everywhere where money was being made trying to figure out how you could talk in the background so you could stop it. Everywhere where women were generating income, athletes generating income, rappers creating income, actors creating income, you brought your faggot ass just leeching everywhere you could to bank to create poverty. And what happened was the only person in poverty was your ass. That's the only person who ended up in poverty with you. And not only you, like I said, stupidity is the new COVID. Not only did you put yourself in poverty for doing it, you like the devil. You look for some women to go down with you, some church members to go down. They just indicted all the churches, a majority of them in the United States. Isn't it? I put the post on there. Do y'all know that the churches went to jail with the VA recently, a couple days ago? For talking in the background around military veterans. So did the FBI do it to you or did you do it to yourself? You did it to yourself because you stupid. They got these motherfuckers from these churches. You around real killers, you heard me, in the real world, playing killer. And they like, well, why? What? The soldier ain't gonna fuck you up like that. You had to do something. No, he ain't just run your head through a wall like that for no reason. You did something to him. They say, oh, you around here talking in his background. That was supposed to happen. My cave is free to go. All you people indicted. That's what happened to them. This 2 days ago. Oh, the cops help you do it? Beverly Hills Police Department. A lot of those cops were indicted. What world are you living in? It ain't really the fact that the National Guard is taking over the police station. These low-income earning cops tried to even help you. You hear me? And man, I'm gonna tell you, in a real war situation, keep in mind, soldiers are trained to kill. Cops arrest people. That ain't the same job. How you thought you were gonna win? See, I'm gonna tell you something. Even a detective can only investigate how good his education is. If you don't know nothing about real estate, stock and bond, you can't investigate shit because you stupid. If you're not a lawyer, you can't investigate shit because you don't know nothing about the law. So they said that's stalking. That's what matter of fact, the reason why marijuana and a lot of those drug charges became people affected by the war on drugs who were exonerated because that was entrapment. Entrapment means I got to create a false scenario. Try to get you to commit a crime so I can put you so because you got to understand that's still a form of somebody trying to put you in slavery. Right? You try to do some dumb shit around a person that got a legal business, hope they commit a crime so you could benefit from it. They call it entrapment. You go to jail for that too. So the cops can't even run that scandal. At some point, you got to realize you got to get what John Witherspoon told Craig on Friday, a job, nigga. You got to get a job or take your ass to school. But what you ain't gonna do is sit your sorry ass around here, you hear me, just talking in people's background like that's your job. Trying to get some money off the next person. That's like if Will Smith make an album. I don't get paid off his album by talking in the background. That's stupidity. Nigga, Denzel Washington just made a movie. I don't get paid because I was in the background while they were filming the movie. Does this make sense? Only a dummy think dumb shit like that. Look, that's me. Look, pause it right there. Look, you see that person in the background on the music video? I was right there. You don't make no money off that fool. Like I said, attention is the new money, but here's the problem. You want attention at the wrong time. Get attention on your own time. Stop wasting people's time. Time is money. Shut the fuck up if you ain't talking money. That's the truth about it. A lot of times, right, what you gonna learn though, there are 200 countries that speak 200 languages, if not more. But if they ain't talking about money, what? They ain't talking about shit. That's the truth about it. I don't give a fuck if it's Japanese, you hear me, Chinese, Thailand, you hear me, Russia, Germany. If you French, you hear me, African, you're not Aboriginal, Arabian. If you ain't talking about no money, you ain't talking about shit. That's the truth about it. I don't give a fuck what language you say it in. You can say it in Spanish. If it ain't about no money, you ain't talking about shit. That's the truth about it. Because when you ain't talking about money, guess what they call it? Babbling. So you gotta learn how to start talking about some money around people that got money, or just shut the fuck up and learn something. But you don't. You get the babbling. You get the treason charge. You get the DEI fraud charge. You get the conspiracy charges. You get the entrapment charges if you work in law enforcement, and negligence, you heard me, if you work as a public official. And the next thing you know, we done looked up. It's the holiday season now, and not all people, you heard me, that could have went to work and made their own money, tried to benefit off other people's money. Now they literally will never be probably funded. I'm starting to think, and truth be told, Trump finna lose the presidency too. You can't bring the Democrats back because the education level is so high. Everybody know that democracy means find the smartest people you can find that ain't part of the royal family. They know the definition of it now. So that shit'll never be funded again because they know that ain't your intentions. Now it look like the Republic finna fall because they just put you in a brand new fraud scandal called the H-1 visa scandal. Here's the problem. You refuse to read the books, you hear me, right? You hear me, understand economics. You created poverty on your own. Because keep in mind, if your country, it's a reason Russia got snow everywhere. It's called agriculture and commerce. It's a reason Dubai is a desert. It's a reason Mexico is a desert. Because you got these homosexuals that keep it. It's a reason Africa is a wasteland. Men attaching themselves to other men. That's the whole point. Einstein called it the general theory of relativity. We know your country ain't got what's known as flora and fauna from your skin color. This ain't really a black and white thing. The grass is green. You know why the grass green? Photosynthesis. You ain't got no light in your body that connect to the earth. Einstein already figured that out. At the UN, they called that the white body, yellow body, and the black body studies, and the gray bodies. This was studied in World War II. They studied this shit. That's why they killed the soldiers and kept the scientists. You hear me? That was the truth about it. They said, well, the science ain't necessarily bad, but you don't have a say-so over who dating who over here. You got y'all really don't understand what those world. It was men that was sitting there trying to dictate who was gonna date who, and you ain't got nothing to do with why the grass grow around this motherfucker. Nothing. But yeah, you want to bring a construction worker around here to steal diamonds and gold and resources out where aboriginals are that got everything to do with why the money is growing out the ground. That's why they have food stamps, Section 8 vouchers, what they call 40 acres in the mirror. That's why they have that stuff. Social Security. Why? Because that niggas is the reason why the grass grow. Not because of you. It's called photosynthesis. Because if it was because of you, why don't grow in your country? Now, you can be mad at God, you hear me, but it ain't got nothing to do with us. That deal with the reality. They studied all around the world, 200 countries, even Asian people, 1871, 1873, Iroquois embassy records. The diplomats, they went out, they said the only workplace that, and that's why white people are desperate to be around us, because they know that. But what they secretly do is, as like remember when they said they came to the United States when they came from the Black Plague? What is the Black Plague? Homosexuality. That was the disease. Anybody read Giovanni Boccaccio, the Decameron? How did Europe break out with the Black Plague or these COVIDs? Homosexuality. What do they call in Europe putting the devil in a hole? Getting women away from homosexuals. Am I making this up? Giovanni Boccaccio, the Decameron, is a story told by 3 men and 7 women. They said, how did the Black Plague break out? And when they did the studies, right, even though it probably been 10 days, it's only 3 stories, right, you hear me? But they said all of these stories were about gay men that kept trying to attach themselves to straight men, and everybody in Europe started dying. So they said, well, how do we put this devil in the hole? By getting this faggot away from this woman because she is attached to these black men that got money. That was it. Now, Kim Kardashian figured it out temporarily. She knew to get her gay-ass transsexual stepdad away from Kanye because she knew she could make some money. But soon as she made some money, she went back to him, went back to a low-budget comedian, think everything funny, and now her career is over. She down there butt-ass naked on Instagram again. Because how did she actually get famous? From fucking Ray J. Ray J ain't even a celebrity. His sister's a celebrity. See, well, like I said, man, you got to understand, these people don't have a sense of loyalty. She got famous from fucking, he wasn't even a celebrity, his sister's a celebrity. But that's how she made billions. By stepping up the ladder through black people. We already know, we ain't seen no white woman climb the economic ladder without a nigga. But what happens is they tend, as soon as they climb the economic ladder, get to the hundreds of millions and big, they forget the nigga that got them there, and then all of a sudden their career be over, damn near overnight. A nigga don't give a fuck what Kylie Jenner talking about, now she don't date Travis Scott no more. That's the truth about it. Man, don't nobody give a fuck what Khloe Kardashian talking about. Tristan Thompson or Lamar Odom ain't playing, and they ain't even the actual stars on the old basketball team. LeBron James was a star. Kobe was the star. They try to date the star next to a star. That's it. That ain't no dice. See, a lot of these women, they have that. You could have just went to the source, but you try. Well, I'm gonna just fuck the next best thing. That's all you gonna get it out of life is the next best thing too. One time, one of my hoes, she said, "Why are you spending money on a bum?" I was like, "Ho, you fuck construction workers and bums. Called quick visits and happy endings." I said, "This man that's a bum next to me, this man could make me at least a few $1 million. He sold 1 million records in a week, twice in his lifetime. How many times you sold 1 million anything in 1 week? You can't sell 1 million pieces of bubble gum." See, when me kicking with a homeless person ain't the same as you kicking it with a homeless person, because there's no business strategy behind the shit you doing. I have a whole plan behind the shit. Now a lot of people like for instance, right, keep in mind, Charles Hamilton didn't have a platinum record since 2015. Rita Ora, Iggy Azalea picked up to his publishing reports of $2 million. Nobody for 10 years, he got into it with Jay-Z, and Jay-Z beat him up. He told the story for fucking with his wife. He was like, "Hey man, like we cool and all, you hear me, but what you trying to prove?" Because the white man told him to play with him like this. White man told him, "Go over there and play with Beyonce." Now you don't have a career no more. But that white man is God though. You seen who God was then. He ended in poverty in South Central in the trap house. That's how he met me. I was like, how in the fuck you end up in the trap in the ghetto with Chip, you hear me? I got to looking. I said, "Hey man, that thing say you went platinum a couple times. Where the money at? Why ain't nobody bought your distribution and publishing?" Jay-Z left him for dead. That was the truth about it. Kanye left him for dead. They were like, fuck, because they already got billions of dollars. That little couple $1 million went nothing to him. But to a nigga like me in the ghetto, I don't even rap. But I said, I buy the distribution and publishing. They ain't gonna, Jay-Z never ain't gonna say nothing to Chip. I'm a real street nigga. Just like them. And they know that. So I was like, look man, I'm trying to make some money. For you, y'all got into it, that shit over with. But I seen why they don't like him, because he like Eddie Kane. If you watch the movie 5 Heartbeats, I seen why Jay-Z and Kanye and Rihanna ain't fucking with him. Watch the movie 5 Heartbeats, what Eddie Kane tried to do to the manager or the person that had the distribution. He was trying to sell the manager out to another person so he could get the publishing and the distribution. So he could buy some more drugs to get high. Some heroin. Cause the manager told him he didn't want him high because the nigga don't show up for rehearsal on time and he don't show up at the shows focused. He bullshitting. Niggas be at the show like, bro, you hear him? Like, you know you gotta be on schedule. Like, where the fuck you at? Like, type nigga, fuck you. Like, this is money. Time is money. This nigga on drugs. You hear him, right? You hear him? So he like, well, at least he gonna let me get high. Like, okay, get high on your own time, not when we gotta work. Ain't nobody really, truth be told, I smoke weed, drink every day, but if I got something to do, shit, unless I can, if it's causing me to be unfocused while I'm working, I ain't finna do it. I smoke weed, I smoke weed, drink every day, you hear me? I smoke 2 packs of cigarettes, man, smoke 20 blunts, drink gallons of liquor every day, you hear me, for real. But if it start to affect my work ethic, you hear me, fuck that today, you hear me, I got some shit to do. But as soon as I get it done, I'm going back to partying. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you ain't showing up for rehearsal, you ain't getting the albums done, motherfuckers is like, okay, mix down this and mix that. You like, fuck it, you hear me? But the difference is, Rick Ross got a new song called The Kiss of Judas. And he talking Judas Maccabees where you thought that Big Red would have won in this situation. Leprechaun, Big Red and the rest of them niggas like Leprechaun in the hood. I'm like, nigga, I never retired from the streets. You retired. Keep in mind, I'm a military soldier. I ain't never compromised though. I ain't never retired from the street world. There's no history of me signing some document to be an informant like the other niggas did. You hear me? But they have documents of them. Those men that you thought were real hustlers, they have court records that they became federal informants. All those scandals that those big, all them people sold out. They have court records. That's why they record sealed. You know how that nigga T.I. said it'll break your heart when you find out some of your favorite rappers and people you think street niggas, them niggas lame as hell. They get to looking at the court record, be like, damn, you became a federal informant. It's a movie called Panther, right? You hear me? Mario Van Peebles made this movie, right? You hear me? Like I said, I never retired from the street world. I just had to clear my name, Jeffrey. Like, for real. Anybody know that? Weed, but I just turned it into a red light district because weed is legal for a king. Yeah, in a red light district in Amsterdam in the Peace Palace at the United Nations, a nigga with a WAB and text that, yeah, weed is legal. Nigga, prostitution is legal. Woman can stand butt naked in the window. Yeah, I can do that. You can't. You a whole federal informant. That's the truth about it. That's your court record. Future and them are rappers, you hear me? That video, you got people that's around you. They didn't do that shit in court. If I did. Why? Because I have a federal court record for it. They were rappers. It's my life they rapping about because I couldn't rap about it. Do y'all know kings have a thing? Kings are supposed to be like patrons. You're supposed to invest in people that can say the things that you're not able to say at that moment. That's why patrons, like say for instance, if I want a Sistine Chapel, the Medici family would pay a Michelangelo or Leonardo da Vinci to paint art. Like, that's what the film industry is. That's what, I'm really over an hour, this down there a movie, a documentary. But that's what the film industry is, a movie industry. That's why you see those signs that say regions. What is a region? Those are people who speak on behalf of the king when he can't talk at that moment. But I was like, well, shit, I done got the weed legal, right? You hear me? I done got the OnlyFans legal, right? You hear me? But homosexuality and pedophilia, I ain't never trying to legalize that shit. That ain't got nothing to do with what's known as tunage and pundage ad valorem. When you dealing with the Peace Palace in Amsterdam and in the red light district, that ain't got, no. So you were like, well, let me throw some of this pedophilia I got. We hear me, this human trafficking. No, fool, you ain't throwing. Weed can be legal, yeah. A prostitute butt naked in the window, yeah, I'm cool with that. Little soft, little stuff that ain't really hurting nobody, that's cool. But you ain't finna bring all of this Frankenstein, Jeffrey Dahmer, Texas Chainsaw shit in here. No, fool. Hell no. Remember on the movie Godfather 3? Watch the movie Godfather about Mario Puzo. Listen to what he was saying. Remember, Michael Corleone had shot the crooked cop and he shot, you hear me, the gay gangster. Because they said, Michael Corleone, we need you to sell drugs to black people so we can set them up. He said, I'm not doing that because you got to understand, Corleone, if you study the Gerald Manson books and anthropology, they are the direct, what's called the Byzantine Empire, like the Russians is. They are the first lepers or albino empire directly connected to the Aboriginal Pharaoh. That's the truth about it. He said, I'm not doing that. He said, that's why what we call made men. That's why you hear me? Because we always hold it down. That's the Bumpy Johnson, Lucky Luciano relationship. He was like, look, but I do business with the black, not all blacks, just that one right there in particular. Donald Trump didn't have to do business with all blacks. He just did business with Robert Johnson, that owned BET. Like I said, real people that make money only got to do business with people that actually got something going on. Not everybody. Y'all have this diversity mindset. I said, don't say diversity on the paperwork. It said biodiversity. That's breeding. The only thing you can diversify, this is financial literacy, is your portfolio. Like Jay-Z said, Pinocchio, please. My portfolio say Don Corleone, nigga, please. Which is what? The Johnson Mary Gray family, you heard me, Corleone is Keppera. This is science. This is human history. Your last name ain't Johnson. President Johnson that wrote that, Lyndon B. or Andrew nothing, you hear me, Johnson. Mary Gray nothing, you know that. And you know that's the only royal lineage over the past 3,000 years. Henwood Gray, Edward Gray. If you're in Arabia, it's the Murrays, right? Because you say the matriarch mother Murray. Even if you thought the woman was God, it would still be Murray. Well, what the Murrays in your family? It's fraud, man. I'm from the Middle East. Well, what the Murrays at in your family? You know, they got books in this college called Princeton. So you still lying. And it get to a point like, God damn, you hear me? You done try to make a career out of lying to people. You know what? Just stop wasting our time. Time is money, man. We could have been made an album. We could have made a movie. We could have been at a restaurant. We could have been raising our kids. You hear? We could have been making more, baby. Anything. You hear? Why are you wasting our time with this lie? You know they have something called amnesty periods. You know what an amnesty period is? That's the moment you could have told the truth. You made a decision to continue lying. You did that on your own. Nobody did that to you. Like at the reparation conference, they said anybody that was a big-time drug dealer affected by the war on drugs knows something about the reparation. We have an open invitation. This is 2023. The FBI there, Senator Bradford there, the Assemblyman there, the Congress is there, the people over the health, everybody was there. You could have went there and said, if you know, niggas like, I heard niggas, you know, the dope gang, nigga was just saying some of the crazy. Keep in mind, this is the FBI that's sitting on the panel. How you gonna go in there and say some shit you know ain't got nothing to do with you? And then when I call in on the phone and I'm speaking on the speakers in that motherfucker from a remote location, like I am now. As soon as I said they shut the whole thing down, the people were crying. I'm like, dude, you know damn well you ain't got nothing to do with the dope gang. Why are you lying? So these the people on the panel, the people tap people's phone, they would know it's me. As Katy Perry say, the one that got away, but I ain't had to get away. I wasn't in trouble nowhere. I can legally do it. It's like a person, a military soldier, don't have a license to kill, you hear me? They got a security clearance. Yes, I do. So you thought you were going to print you a fake security clearance, fake military veteran benefits, you in this church, you hear me, and tell this lie. Remember when Hunter Biden was indicted, what did the FBI agent said, man, I'm gay, but I didn't know that the man that he had me trailing had a security clearance. They were at a panel. They had a Senate committee hearing. He said, I didn't know. They said Hunter Biden had bribed the FBI, some OnlyFans bitches, to come to South Central to spy on me. And they got busted. He was looking crazy. And keep in mind, if your daddy is the president, he wouldn't know I had a security clearance. He ain't crazy. You were looking at the computer, you had seen it. That's a license to kill. I just don't do it. Why? Because I have a good judge of character. I can normally tell a damn fool when I see one. I ain't crazy about a long shot. It's just sometimes I be irritated. I be like, I wonder, what are you hoping to accomplish? Like things, we say everything peaceful right about now. Why are you trying to create situations? Because remember, before we had a lot of this domestic terrorism, there were wars overseas. I ended all the wars overseas by talking at the United Nations, by teaching. Like say for instance, Canada, I started teaching economics of Darren Brad, probably by Sawan Anderson. I went to Africa, right? You hear me? I'm talking to the Africans about, you hear me, all the books that they had, right? If I'm dealing with people in London, in the UK, I'm teaching them Gerald Massey, right? If I'm dealing with Spanish people, I start teaching UCLA, Don Juan, the Yaqui way. I just gave you the books of your own race of people that already taught this shit anyway. Oh, you Russian? You know who Ivan the Terrible is? Like that, it wasn't shit you come up with that I didn't already know. It probably fuck you up. Like Marion Davis said, that I know all this shit without even looking at no notes. Because I'm educated. Educated people don't have to lie about the shit they know. I ain't got oh man, I left my notes at home. See, you know, they say the new covenant in the Bible is not some shit on a piece of paper. See, the original covenant was a woman coochie. That's the truth about it. But the covenant became the pyramid. And then the pyramid covenant became some ark they used to tote with these documents in there. Remember, that was the original ark of the covenant. It went from Noah's ark, some house you hiding in. And then the house turned into some ark of the covenant where they got these documents in this goddamn thing. And then the documents that they had became just some shit that people knew by their heart and their mind. But it was the same thing, you hear me basically saying, stay away from suckers. That's all it is. There ain't really no such thing as a new treaty, whether it's the Magna Carta, the Treaty of Tordesillas, even all that shit is the big beautiful bill. It's the same damn bill. It's the same treaty. It's just renewed by somebody of the lineage. Before me, it would have been Robert Johnson. Before Robert Johnson, it was Bumpy Johnson. Before Bumpy Johnson, in the time of President Johnson in the Civil War, it was Johnson. It's the same shit. In the Boston Tea Party, it was called Johnson Lipton Tea. That's what they called the shit. John the Divine, John Gray, that wrote the Treaty of Tordesillas from Portugal. He don't speak Spanish, he speak Portuguese. He black. It's the same name all through history. Johnson Mary Gray. I'm Jewish. I celebrate Hanukkah. Ain't the man named Johnson Maccabeus? I speak Aramaic too. What's the God of Israel name? Maccabeus? Am I making this shit up? Oh, okay. Let's read the Zohar and the Kabbalah. What's God's name? Maccabeus ain't in your room. That's what it say in the paper, don't it? And you still around here lying. Christmas coming up. What is Christmas? It called the John Maccabee story. What is the John Maccabee story? In the time of Cleopatra, a man who wrote a treaty, said everybody that didn't cross me, whether you black or white, you heard me, you still go free. If they ever try to arrest you, whatever money they took from you, I'm gonna go get it back from you. That's the whole Hanukkah story. Now, if you went over to the side with my enemies, I ain't doing nothing for you. You got all the smoke coming. Let's rewind the clock some more to the time of King Tut and Ramses. Ptah. Gerald Massey break down. Ptah's name is Khepera. What is Khepera? Khepera means Chippewa. Who is Chippewa? The man who built the fourth dynasty that built the pyramid. They say, who is the Chippewa nigga? The Mark John nigga. The book of Acts and the Apostle. Who wrote Revelation? John didn't write Revelation. It's a man named Mark John wrote the book of Revelation. It's the same name. Matter of fact, recently in history, right, there was a man named Hasselasa, where people say Rastafarian. But Rastafarian nigga was from Ethiopia, the Tigrays. What was his name? Mark Jahan. That's my name, same birthdays, you hear me? Now, this is the greatest coincidence in 4,000 years that you got the same niggas doing the same shit throughout history, doing the same treaty, you hear me, with the same people, and that's all really a treaty. Now, a policy, that can be made by it. That's why in dynasties, they have something called interim periods. That means the pharaoh ain't alive at that point. That's why people know that reincarnation is real, because we keep doing the same, right. But it come back not by, we ain't figured out how to make a dead body come back to life, but we do know that we come back as the seed. Even Jesus came back as a seed, but he died. The niggas don't die. Melchizedek niggas don't die. The white boy, or even Yeshua, is a woman name. That's a feminine principle. Do you speak Aramaic? Anybody that speak Aramaic, just like him, is a masculine principle, and her is a feminine principle. The word Yeshua is what? A feminine principle. So technically speaking, your definition of Jesus would be a woman, because Yeshua is a woman name in Aramaic. I speak Jewish. Am I making this up? But I got people talking in the background while I'm trying to teach my classes, teach people financial literacy, buy assets, not liabilities. Right? Remember, before I had really did real estate with a satellite, you could make $60,000 off $120,000 that was made just off locating properties. They call that snap flipping. It was legal. You ain't even have no nothing about real estate. They got mad and said, wait a minute, how does Marcavius have, this is 2017, 18, how does Marcavius have access to a satellite? Marcavius worked at the Census Bureau. You work at the Census Bureau? Well, I know. Okay, we'll start there. We ain't even got to get into just a whole deep conversation about it, right? You hear me? We can say, okay, do you have any type of security clearances to access a satellite, or no? So we ain't got to get into the rut, because you be told, I already knew my last name was Johnson Mary Gray. Like I said, 20 years ago, those United Nations grants were already being granted to black people because they wanted black people to start writing their own stories. They call it African methodology. I replaced the old United Nations book of African methodology with the book I read called Land of Milk and Honey. Because I did it better than them in a more simpler form. Without it didn't take me 1,000 pages to say it. I took it like 100 pages and got it done. Like I said, what is an injunction or a federal interpleader? You got to damn near be Jesus Christ or the black version of it, called Melchizedek. I actually had one on federal file, right? But what you didn't realize, like, yeah, I'm gonna just attach myself to this federal. I said, do you know that that's a RICO Act case? You heard me? I did that on. So you just gonna, and next thing you know, you get hit with a RICO Act. I said, why would you make a fool of yourself like that? So did I get you indicted, or did you get yourself indicted by trying to attach yourself to federal cases that I had over a decade ago? You did it to yourself. It's my Kevin's fault. You hear me? I'm getting busted. No, you tried to attach yourself. Keep in mind, what was happening all those years ago, 15 years ago? They called them the BMF cases, remember? Those Craig Petters cases, right? Remember? Yeah, we was all in court, you hear me? All of us. Even me, you hear me? I changed the whole game. I said, fuck it, nigga, I am the boss and I'm the Pharaoh. You hear me? And the judge said, you right. You free to go. I was gone. Everybody that sided with me, you hear me, they never went to jail. They got court records of this shit. This is the federal records of those BMF and those Craig Pettis cases. They know that. You say, I'm going to just attach myself to it for my DEI fraud. Next thing you know, you got more RICO Acts indictments. Now you feel how black people felt 20 years ago. Trying to freeload, conspiring, committing treason, entrapping, and you found out, you hear me, that I legally can do it, just like the black men found out I could legally do it all them years ago. You made the same mistake that the men that went against me when I did the interpleader injunction. You tried to make yourself the boss. I was really the boss with no paperwork. I just said, fuck it, I ain't finna lie, I'm gonna just tell the truth. Sometimes the craziest thing I thought I ever do was I said, I'm just telling you, man, look, man, I'm the boss, fuck it, man, you hear me? I'm the Pharaoh, you hear me? I'm the supreme being. As they say, I ain't know if this shit was true or not, you hear me? I said, the judge looked at the paperwork, it's a pyramid on that motherfucker. This is 16 years ago. Got looking at that motherfucker, looked at me. They got to talking amongst each other, you hear me? Like, for real, for real. You done found yourself, you hear me, in a fucked up predicament. Because keep in mind, these are all black people. This ain't got nothing to do with no other race of people when they say we ruled the world. This was us ruling the world, you hear me, 20 years ago. This is a known fact that we were, in fact, ruling the world. That's true, brother. Still do. Some of those men will go on and lie and listen to faggots. What were the results? They call it the 2008 mortgage housing crisis, don't it? Keep in mind, all my friends are black people. You ain't seen me with no white, Asian, Spanish people putting this together. So you say, no, we were secretly with my cavies the whole time. They say, no, the key word is black. You ain't with them niggas. Nah, but I knew somebody that was with them. Yeah, the people that did 20, 30 years, yeah, they ain't with me. They went against me. That's why it happened to them. They were listening to your ass. I ain't listening to none of y'all. I said, fuck all y'all. And it will fuck you 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago. Every time they bring this subject up, it's still going to be fuck you. I'll go free, and anybody with me go free. You hear me? Which is pretty much the same people that's always been with me and the women that I'm dating currently. You don't never go free, because I ain't never been friends with you, and I ain't starting today. You a whole man. Get your own life. You crazy. Something wrong. You have mental health disease. This is what they call the coach. Well, Lucky Bumpy Johnson didn't do business with all white people. He did business with Lucky Luciano. That's one person. Donald Trump didn't do business with all black people. He did BET with one black person, Robert Johnson. A pimp don't need no help macking a hole. A soldier don't need a security guard. Does this make sense? That's the God. What is the Godfather movie is basically Michael Corleone saying my business is a sole proprietorship. The only people that are part of my business is my 2 kids and my wife I'm about to divorce. That was his argument in court. It wasn't the fact if he could legally do it or not. It was the fact that you had these faggots, you heard me. But ain't we together when we used to be friends, Mr. Corleone? And eventually the nigga just said, man, you know what? I got my own business. I got my own family. He like, yeah, that's all you had to say. Just get your lame ass away from me. You got your own family, your own friends. You know, you don't know me. Stop saying stupid shit like that. Stop coming around me. Cause that's how I feel like Corleone felt on God. Like, nigga, just get the fuck away from me. Come on, please, man. You going free. I want nigga, you been around here hermit trafficking children and cutting dicks off and setting people up in drug scandals and shit. Nigga, I don't want that. Remember what Vito Corleone had told him, man? He said, yeah, I might got judges and politicians in my pocket, but if they find out I got somebody that I'm in the business like you in, I won't have that shit going on for too long. He like, you in a whole scandal. You been kidnapping kids in school, talking about you don't know if they men or women, and you got motherfuckers overdosing on fentanyl, famous actors and the entertainers is dying. And man, I don't want none of that shit in my company. What Mike Corleone tell them folks, man, this my company right here. Me, this bitch I'm about to divorce, and these 2 kids right here, you hear me? That's the mafia. Any other questions? Cause all these other motherfuckers ain't got shit to do with what I got going on. Nothing. And there be men, you hear, like, y'all ain't never really watched gangster movies before, have it? You know, gangsters, that ain't how that shit work. Hold your own nuts, man, you hear me? Why you won't just tell them for who you is? I'm already chill. I ain't got to make a fake birth certificate with 7-11 on there. That's my real birthday. That's my real name. These my real family members. These are my real cases, you hear me? These are real schools I went to. Even if it's military, these are real places I've been. You ain't got none of that shit going on. And some type of way you got this bonehead, the Roe v. Wade all over again. So let me get this right. Women's rights don't come from the Constitution, the 19th Amendment. It comes from somebody else's court case. Like I got a saying, I said, let me get it right. Snoop Dogg said murder was the case that they gave me. So since Snoop Dogg won his case, you supposed to win yours. No. Nobody in their right mind believed it. O.J. Simpson stabbed the girl, so if I stab somebody, I'm a bit. No, you ain't O.J. Simpson or Johnny Cochran. And it's keeping up with the Joneses, not the Kardashians. And Kadush itself, you hear me, still Johnson, Mary Gray. That's a play on words. The real that's Kadush. That's a World War family that was birthed from it. But the actual family at the time of the Order of Melchizedek, they still ain't there. Those are what you call the Byzantine leprosy descendants of those aboriginals that came from that era. But they wouldn't be the boss in that situation. Like I said, no, there's never been a tall pharaoh in history. It never happened. Pharaohs don't wear long hair. It never happened. I got a hat on my head. That's what you call a headdress or a scub cap. That don't mean I got long hair. This is anthropology. All pharaohs, you hear, they what they call little gray aliens. That's what they call the silver treaty, the treaty of Kadush, silver lining. Why they call it a gray market. What is a gray market? It's a foreign trade zone. There's one man, he gets 60% of the money, 50% on the vote. This is Black Law Dictionary speaking. You don't even know what a bull market or a bear market is in stocks and bonds, let alone what a gray market is in a foreign trade zone. But how are you doing import, exporting at a warehouse or at a motherfucking dock and you don't even know how to operate? You trying to put a motherfucker on a plane talking about you with the Fly America Act. In order to be with the Fly America Act, you gotta have this shit registered as Fly America with the United Nations as a civil society. I'm the only person that got one. Which paid government personnel. It's me that sign off on the bullshit. You ever seen how Beverly Hills car, the nigga got to sign off on it so he get the money? But you said, I'ma just write auto pen my KV signature on this shit and just pay my own money to myself. Like I ain't even sitting here. Then I sent ICE after you. What is ICE? ICE is Immigration and Customs Enforcement. What is custom? Custom deals with what? Import, export. You ain't no WA tax status holder. That's one person. That's state-sponsored treasury robbery, treason. They ain't got nerve to get made. See, the law had, y'all ain't, look at the foreign affairs, man. They had to change. I could legally, remember that's what they were mad at Vito Corleone, that he could just collect stuff. It's not really the fact that there are stash houses with clothes and money and jewelry and diamonds and all the stuff that I have access to. They had to change the law because you were so jealous that I could do that I could have whatever I wanted in the world. We had to start creating warehouses with clothes and shoes and money and all that shit. That's my money that you can't fuck with because your brain fucked up. They had to change. What was it? This was 2019. They changed the law about WA tax status holders. Well, initially I could just walk in the store and get it, but due to the fact one idiot got jealous, seen that I could just have whatever I wanted. You hear me? Like a kid in the candy store. I took a bottle and busted his head wide the fuck open. You hear me? They said, and he was a thief. They said my Cavers ain't a thief. My Cavers the boss. This is court records. I took a ball and busted his head right there in front of everybody and told him to kill himself, you hear me? Cause he was stupid. I was like, dude, you know, all you gotta do is just stay the fuck away from me, you hear me? That's how you don't get killed. Well, I didn't know, you hear me, stay out of people's business. You a whole employee somewhere. You, like they said, the Jimmy Kimmel relationship is an employee that's being insubordinate against bosses in the world. You're an employee trying to tell employers what to do. You crazy. So that's a mental health disease. That's a mental health disease. You're an employee. That's like if I work at Walmart or Target and I start telling the person that's the general manager or the person that owns Walmart or Target what the fuck they need to be doing in there. You know, you could say black people don't have a leader, but that's like saying the country don't have a president or a church don't have a minister. That's stupid. It's just something, the rank structure is getting people killed out here nowadays. I'm telling you, man. Rank structure. But guess how you can avoid all those scandals? All you gotta do is look and say, this make money, this ain't making money. This making money, this ain't making money. And just start investing in stuff you know gonna make some money. If you know that this company has been losing money for 10 months, most stock and bond investors switch up a week later. A couple, they call them, they got day traders, they got weekly traders, swing traders, right? You hear me? You motherfuckers see these companies been losing money. Fuck a day trade. Financial literacy teach you day trade. If in a day, you hear me, if the money switch up, they switch up. If within a week, you hear me, the money switch up, it switch up. They got stop loss orders, all this shit like in play. They like, oh, if the nigga, that shit, that DEI shit, that shit been losing money for 10 months consecutively. At what point do you start to say, you know what, I don't think this is a good investment? You know, people get like, shit, some people say, I might invest my money in this, a week later I'm gonna make some money. I might make some money in this, a month later I make some money. If it don't make no money, invest in money like dating, right? You hear me? You date a woman for a week, if it is the real 7-day event. If I date this woman for a week, if it make me make more money, make me happy, I'm gonna invest in it again for another week. Right? If I invested in this, and a month later I made more money, so I'm investing in it again. I invested in this rapper, and I need the benefits I get. Right? You hear me? If I invest anything, right now, if it start losing me money, I'm pulling my money out of it. Not immediately. Because, you know, there still could be hope that it could make you some more money. But we don't fall in love with stocks that's losing us money. We like, But anybody with common sense say anything got something to do with gay people, stalking, pedophile, LGBT, fuck that. That shit, fuck a day trade, week trade, month trade. That's some shit been losing money for 10 months straight. Them stocks and plummeted. Crash, that whole economic, that been modeled in crash so goddamn bad it is extinct and then evaporated. I'm like, at some, you might want to invest in Dollar General at this point in the game. Something. Like, what are you waiting on, to lose everything? Cause that's what a lot of y'all done did. Like I said, it's 4 type of pimp. You got the simp. He wants somebody to feel sorry for him. That what the nigga do when he laying on the street with the puppy dog eyes. That's a simp. The gorilla pimp, I'm gonna force somebody to do it. I'm gonna make them feel uncomfortable. Deported, you heard me like this. So the gorilla pimp, that ain't working. The sack pimp. The sack pimp, I'm gonna just keep everybody high on a mental health program. Keep in mind, mental health is not where you get Social Security money from. Mental health come from, just like the Roe v. Wade, it's the 19th Amendment. Mental health money come from the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment. You heard me? What they call 40 acres in a mule, Section 8 voucher after the Civil War of the Republicans. That's what Social Security supplements come from. This is literally what Section 8 vouchers come from. 13, 14, 15 Amendment. The black and white families that fought on the Republican side in the Civil War. This is literally what the Section 8 vouchers and the Social Security money come from. It don't come from you now. Can an immigrant woman have a baby by a man that's a descendant of a person that fought in the Civil War during the time of President Johnson and get benefits? Yeah, but you know them men that you dating, last name ain't Johnson, Murray, or Gray. You know that. Like the Assembly Bill 7. You can literally look, like I said, this is 2025. Can't nobody lie to you. You can Google people nowadays. If somebody, I'm gonna make you a big star. What's the name of your company? I'm gonna put it in Google. This ain't back in the day where you got to go to this building and pull up the business records and see if it ain't. Google is like a infinite library. It's in the Ethereum realm. It ain't going nowhere. If somebody say, man, I'm a famous celebrity, say, what's your name? You can put that motherfucker right in. I do music. Okay, I'm gonna put it in Apple Music spot. You can do that right there on the spot. You don't need that's as quick as verification you gonna get. That shit like Instagram. You can instantly find out if that's the truth or not. Like I said, my name Marcavius Johnson. Google me. You pull up this person. I'm sorry, my Google. When people Google my name, that shit's so crazy. Even my Instagram posts be on Google now. That's how powerful things I have to say. Things that so you all talking in the background. You don't even know everything I say. That shit so heavy. They have to document that shit on all major platforms like Google, all type of shit. They have to document this shit as government records. And why, say for instance, a person is giving a public speech and they hear you just talking in the background. Then they get to running the satellite. Say, well, where did this person come from? Then they tap your phone and find out what you were doing 5-10 minutes ago. They say, oh, he just chiming in. Okay, they call that treason, conspiracy. Next thing you know, all type of task force agencies on your ass and whoever next to you. But you said, I did it to you. I didn't do it to you. You done it to yourself. You know you ain't got nothing important to say. Nothing. You trying to overtalk me. Like I said, you wouldn't see Adele jump on the stage while Christina Aguilera is performing, even if they performing in the same night. It doesn't. You wouldn't go to a gentleman club and a woman is dancing on the stage and somebody in the crowd jump on the stage with them. It's not realistic. Boundaries. Stop invading people's space and privacy. Women make OnlyFans content because they want somebody to know their sexual activity. You try to run illegal surveillance, what they call blue use monitoring, and they call that espionage now in the United States. You trying to find out what I'm doing is in fact the espionage charge. That's the truth about it. I didn't say I want you in my know what I got going on. I'm not doing business with you. So why are you so worried about what I'm putting it in an art form that can be put on platforms. So don't say, well, I just wanted to make sure I knew what was going on. No, you didn't. You were sitting there committing treason and conspiracy. Because you couldn't say you wanted to know what was going on because you already know at some point it's going to be posted when I edit it or whatever I want to do to it. So you're lying. You weren't trying to find out what was going on. That was treason. That's conspiracy. That's entrapment. That's deep grounds for defunding, deportation. You heard me? Yeah. And it's amping up to death penalties. Council doctrine. Right? You think you doing something slick. You're not doing nothing slick. You're doing espionage. Right? Now, if I have you as a guest speaker, that's a different story. Yeah, if you're a guest speaker, But I would have introduced you in the beginning if you were a guest speaker, not a person that's Kevin Federline in my background. Nigga, I ain't Britney Spears. I don't need no background dancers. Federline, you fentanyl smoking Federliners. No shade, but I'm just, you know, if a hoe dumb enough to listen to y'all, that's on them. But don't do that shit around me, man. If a Britney Spears woman dumb enough to listen to a person in their background and believe that that's who they need to be with, by all means, Britney Spears date Mr. Federline and whatever Marilyn Monroe syndrome women that think crazy shit like that. God gave you free will, but don't come around people that's actually, time is money, that's getting things done. Right? You can't, if a basketball game is going on, you can't just, because you just run on the basketball court while LeBron James is playing, you know you can't do that. That's disrespectful. I wouldn't even do it. I have power and I still wouldn't even do it. Cause it's disrespectful. I'm like, well shit, when that game over, then I chime in. But I'm not gonna do it. Right, you hear me, right? You hear me? That's how, matter of fact, it's a movie called Above the Rim with Tupac. There's a man that was sitting there scouting these sports players to recruit them to college in the NBA. Just cause he was there recruiting them, you hear me? He didn't even talk to them. He was like, look, yeah, that's my job, but I'll talk to you when it's time to do official business. Stop trying to jump off the court and come talk to me. You know that those are violations in the game. It make you not make no money, right? You heard me. And it's slowing up what I got going on. If I want to fuck with you, I know how to get in contact with you. But if you keep doing that, what you're doing, remember what that nigga, the NBA's college scout told him on there? He said, if you keep trying to talk to me, then you just got to go do business with somebody else. Because if I wanted to do business with you, you gonna know it. I'm gonna contact you. It's just like like Richard Jere pretty like a prostitute, a OnlyFans bitch. I know all y'all phone numbers. I got Taylor Swift, E-Rose type shit going on. I got all the numbers. I got everybody's phone. I know how to find you. It's like a directory for people that's in business. People know how to. People in business can locate anybody pretty much. If you actually in business. Even if you was a street person, a hoe in the street world, Figaro, I know how to find you. Man, it's if a person wants to contact you, they know how to. You can't. But what you can't do is just do espionage, start committing treason, trying to chime in when they talking to a woman to conspire to steal their money. And the next thing you know, you hear me facing all these RICO acts. Now that you can't do. But if a person want to sign an artist, he know how to go to a talent show, listen. He know which ones he thinking about fucking with and not. But it's like, say for instance, if I'm hiring 9 muses, right? You hear me? That ain't 9 men, that's 9 women. So that ain't like, if I'm doing a Christmas special, like and I'm working on Miles Davis and Langston Hughes, they dead. So you know you ain't got nothing to do with that. Now the companies I might do licensing with, yeah, they might got something to do. But when it's time for even for that, I know how to contact them when it's time for me to do it. But, right, like, it's common sense. I know I won't be doing no real estate contracting with you, you hear me? Because if you caught up in that scandal, you got to get out. Now, truth be told, a treaty can, in fact, get you out the scandal. Not treatment, a treaty. But here's the thing, that's between a man and a woman. You ain't a woman, so how you gonna form a treaty with a man? But by you being a homosexual, your mind fucked up. You hear me? Make you think crazy shit. A joint venture, you hear me, is a treaty to a certain degree. It's what they call mom pop stores. Does it make sense? Economics of dowry and bride price? Yeah. But here's the thing. Your women had these Judith mindsets, right? So we can't even do the joint ventures with them to get you out the scandal because you're going to fuck everything up for everybody. You all at the honeymoon in the background. So that's why we can't do business with you, because you run those Othello, Shakespeare con games. You run those Alejandro Medici, Margaret, Cosmo Medici con game. It's impossible to do business with you. It ain't just O.J. Simpson. It ain't just Kanye. This is a history that you've had for thousands of years with the same con game. I don't give a fuck if it was Black Knight with Martin in a movie form. That's who you are. I can't help you. I mean, if we got 5,000 years of this shit documented in 200 countries, everybody can't be lying. That's just who you are. You fucked up like that. Now, scientifically, they say now that you know that, it might take you 9 months to birth a new consciousness based off science. I said the quiet part loud. Yeah, 9 months scientifically, you've been in birthed a new consciousness, but right now you're crazy. Your mind fucked up. You don't realize a joint venture is a man and a woman. You still trying to wedge yourself in that relationship. I don't know what the fuck to tell you. I can't make a treaty with you because you got that Judith mindset, that Tobit mindset. In the apocryphal books, I can't do business with you. Yo, man, in the book of Tobit, she got 7 dwarf niggas. You heard Snow White in the 7 doors, listening to 7 homosexuals eating the forbidden fruit. Judith, you hear me? You think you finna get some coochie? Next thing you know, you gotta beat Eddie Murphy on Harlem Nights and take her out, Jasmine Guy. Guess we don't. I'd rather play the game like Richard, you're a pretty woman, and hire a hoe and send her home. And your country still don't get no treaty, you hear me? You still don't get no benefits from that. She get her price and go home and it's legal. And it ain't even because, you hear me, that we don't want to help the bitch. We know your leeching ass in the cut, you hear me, trying to conspire to commit fraud and treason. We would, we want to. But we can't, because your mind fucked up. And her mind fucked up because COVID, the new COVID is stupidity. She stupid because you stupid. And she didn't listen to you for so long that she say make coochie expensive again, but that bride price mindset you gave her, she done contracted with gay people that got STDs and diseases. You done made these women that used to be beautiful so unvaluable because they got men around them, they got AIDS, STDs, diseases, scandals, OnlyFans scandals, men that try to meet them outside of OnlyFans, and now niggas is like, nah, I don't want nothing to do with you, ma'am. Niggas like, fuck that. So now, economically, supply to demand, due to the fact that the men don't want no women around here. So that means the demand for a hetero relationship is low. So what happens when the price that means the price drop. Cause they don't date women. So yeah, your price, you can't be worth millions because your price drop. It's supply and demand. All these men are gay. So supply and demand would say, what happens to your price? It drops. That's simple economics. Anybody, a beginner in economics could tell you that. The price drop. Now, what happens is, there are some heterosexuals, right, you hear me? But what you say, you try to jack the price up, and I'm knowing damn well it ain't worth nothing. That's the truth about it, due to the market. So you come around me all of us, and we call that what? Price fixing, price gouging. No, you fuck bombs and faggots. That price is zero. Supply and demand. Gas is still $6 because the car still needed. But your services as a woman ain't needed because you got homosexuals with you. That's supply and demand. And every time a heterosexual see you with the homosexual, your price drop. He gonna say, oh, that pussy ain't worth no money. So a lot of y'all women, y'all like, oh man, he just don't like me because I'm white and I'm Asian, I'm Spanish. That's why the black, no. Supply and demand. You have a homosexual with you, the price drop. It's worth nothing to me now. You hang around a person on an STD commercial, the price drop. I don't want to add that to my supply. Does it make sense? Gas is still $6 though. Financial literacy. You gotta get these classes. What is a real asset? A woman. This is what the homo said. A woman is an actual asset. It's called booty, spoils of war. They call it an asset, literally. But you took your asset and linked it with a liability. Now you got a Siamese twin dragon going on around here like the prostitute of Babylon. So you might was worth something, but soon as you connected your asset with a liability, shit, that was the price drop. Ain't no man willing to put no disease in his body. The price drop. If your neighborhood full of homosexuals that don't date heterosexual, the price drop. It's supply and demand. This is not. Is that personal? No, that's business. If everybody stop eating motherfucking meat kebab today, everybody stop eating kebab all in the country. Everybody stop eating kebab. What's gonna happen to the price? It's gonna drop. Because nobody eats it anymore. All the celebrities leave Hollywood, right? That's what they call the exodus from Hollywood. All the celebrities left. So now when you try to talk about entertainment and you talking about you're a producer, what happened? Nobody believes you. The price dropped. Y'all understand supply and demand? There's not a need for it. Now, is there a need for a person with visas nowadays? Yeah. And guess how you do that? Through a person that got the status. Like I say, Pharaoh's trillions. Why? That's the biggest crisis in the world that I, as an individual, can solve. You can't solve it. So the demand is high. But the supply of people can do it is low. So what? My price is high when it comes to what I call big beautiful bill. You can't do it. So that's why I say, shut the fuck up. I'm like, you can't, that's supply and demand, that's economics. I have a service that I can provide documenting people. You can't document nobody. Due to the fact I'm one of the few people can do it, and there's a high demand for it, where the price is high. I mean, you don't want to get deeper in the scandal and they call that the economics of dowry and bride price, what we call Forex in the stock market. All the prices are there on what you're supposed to pay to get out of it. There's no set number. I'm going to just make it $100,000. No, every country has documentation for their country. You hear me? It's called the economics of dowry and bride price. That's what it is. Now, when you start saying that visas ain't got nothing to do with relationships, that's when you end up in the scandal. But your mind been trained for Tobit Judah stuff. So I'm like, well, I know you need me. I'm aware of that. But scientifically speaking, it say your brain's so fucked up, it'll take 9 months for you to read all that paperwork and figure out how to properly contact me without trying to run a con game on me. Now, when you learn how to talk to me without trying to deceive me, make a mockery, you hear me, of justice that you looking for, not I'm looking for, you looking for. I'm gonna get paid forever regardless. Even if everything I give you, you hear me, I get reimbursed for, regardless. My business is a sole proprietorship. You'll never be able to lie and say we in business together. So that's a lie. That's a lie you need to stop telling. Now, like I said, Asian women, to a certain degree, like keep in mind, you can be married to somebody on paperwork when it comes to these visa statuses. But even if you ain't never consummated the marriage, right? Say for instance, you find out, okay, well, I got an OnlyFans subscription with Marcavius. He subscribed to my OnlyFans. So I should get rights, privileges, and benefits, right? You know those internet marriages. What they call the Bigo wives and shit. No, there's no consummation, there's no benefits. Those are what they call B1, B2 visas. Those principal visas. Like, I ain't never had sex with you. You see, the illusion was that you were fucking. I was like, we ain't never had sex. When was this? Now the Asian girls, now truth be told, I done fucked a whole bunch of them. That's the truth about it. But and some of them might done got pregnant, truth be told, throughout the year. That's one thing I probably wouldn't deny. You hear me? That's the truth about it. Because there's so many of them that I smashed throughout the year. But I ain't never made no contract with them. So those some women I probably had sex with you, but we ain't never had no contract together saying we gonna be dating. So those things go hand in hand. We had to have a contract, say we dating, you hear me, and on top of that, you hear me, have a consummation, what they call a honeymoon. Land of milk and honey. You ain't got either or. Or if you got one, you ain't got the other. And it's hard for you to put one together as women because y'all the only ones can contract with me, you hear me. These kids, as Michael Jackson say, the Billie Jean is not my lover and they kids is not my son. Those still your kids. You ain't got no kids. Because that is in fact how you document visas. It's always been done that way since the beginning of fucking time. At least for the past 5,000 years at least. In 200 countries. Now, like I said, I'm finna end this podcast at 2 hours because this shit is long enough to be a goddamn movie, you hear me? Right, you hear me? I'm gonna figure out how to edit this motherfucker at some point, right, you hear me? But Zodiac charts say, you hear me, it'll take you 9 months just to figure this out because you've been brainwashed. God bless you. Love, peace, and hair grease. Young Chip the Great, my name, hold weight. Christmas special. Langston Hughes, Miles Davis. But if Langston Hughes caught up in too much controversy, I'ma just write my own Christmas special, but still use Miles Davis instrumentals. We still gonna do Leprechaun's Lawyer and the Our Chip is Ministry movie and Quest for a Silver Fleece with a happy ending instead of a sad ending. But we gonna do that in the summer too because the soundtrack gonna have everything to do with you women. Y'all got to make the soundtrack to it, but due to the fact you can't rap, you ain't learned how to rap yet. It look like you gonna have to learn how to do all this shit, and it's a hard time for me to even go buy a residence where I can teach you how to rap or anything. You hear me? Cause your mind fucked up, cause you keep bringing these leeches in with you. But when you can stop doing that and contract properly, then we gonna do business. It's saying 9 months. I wish it was faster, but the science ain't failed so far. You hear me? So I hope y'all figure it out. You hear me? Love, peace, and hair grease. I'm out.